Hello, Liz here with another live, and if you like this video, please sprinkle to your page, and if you know of anybody that would like it, please let them know. And you can also find all of my videos in the video section of my Facebook page. And I put the links to the stencil that we're using today and the chalk paste in the description. And if you would, please use my links if you buy anything. That way I get a little percentage. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take this metal and ceramic plate. It's one that hangs on the wall. And I put a little mark in permanent ink here where my hanger is, so I don't get confused, and then I'll just wipe it off with alcohol when I'm done. So we're going to use this piece of scrapbook paper. We're going to put that in the center here over the ceramic part. And this is the paper that I'm using. Not exactly sure where I got it. Probably either Hobby Lobby or any of the craft stores. I used to get a lot of it when I was scrapbooking from Big Lots. I don't think they have them anymore. And then we're going to be using this stencil here, and I'm not going to use the whole stencil. So there's two of them. This one says, "The dishes are looking at me dirty again." I thought that's a cute one for the kitchen. But we're going to be using this one here. "OMG, I so need a glass of wine or I'm going to sell my kids." We're not going to use this part of it. I'm just going to use the "OMG, I so need a glass of wine." And you can find these in the 8x10 section of lizyonke.magnoliadesignco.com. And the first thing we need to do is cut out our circle. So I have a template that I just traced around on this. And actually what I thought about doing was making it a little bit bigger, because this paper is one that when you rip, you see this, and I really want that to show. So I'm going to make it bigger than that. So I'm just going to kind of trace around it with my pencil. And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything, because like I said, we're going to tear around it. And we'll see how it looks. So I just have this. It's not perfect or anything. And then I'm just going to start tearing around the edge. I guess I'll start from this end here. See how that's looking like that? That's what I want it to look like. So this is what I have so far. Just continuing around, and then we're going to Mod Podge this onto the center of the plate where the ceramic circle is. Okay, so this is what we have, and let's see how it looks on here. Okay, so that's not bad. Just a couple little places where the white behind it shows, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to take my wonderful brush that I love so much, and then my Mod Podge. And I'm going to put my Mod Podge in this little tray. And you do need to make sure your container doesn't have the Mod Podge around there. Your lid can get stuck on. So you want to clean it up every now and then. So I'm just going to pour some in my tray, not too much. I'm not going to use a whole lot of it. And I think I cleaned this. Maybe I should do it again because I'm not sure. Let me clean this real quick with an alcohol pad. Just not sure I did it earlier. Okay, and I want that to dry before I put my Mod Podge on. So I'm just waving it in the air. And that's dry. So again, I want to make sure my mark is up at the top. And then I'm just going to Mod Podge on top of the ceramic plate. And I got this tray last week at a Goodwill store, and I paid $1.99 for it. I try not to pay over $2 for any of the surfaces that I use for my home decor. I just want it to be budget friendly, and I just don't like spending the money on it. Okay, so I got the Mod Podge on, and I'm laying my scrapbook paper over top of it. And this is what we have. You can see a little of the white here and a little tiny bit right there, but that's okay. Now, since this is up on the metal portion, I'm going to go ahead and put some Mod Podge on the paper itself because I do want it to stick. And I'm just going to go around the edges, pushing it down so that'll stay. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I'm just going to put the rest of my Mod Podge back in my jar, and then I'll clean out my brush when I'm done. Okay, so now we're going to use our stencil. This is from Magnolia Design Co. and my site is lizyonke.magnoliadesignco.com. And like I said, I'm only going to use the OMG I so need a glass of wine. I'm not going to use this part. And you have to fuzz your stencil. These are reusable. They are very sticky. So I want to fuzz it probably about 4 times. See how it's sticking on the pad? And this is just a pad that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. This is one of those that you set your dishes on to dry. They do have a pad at Magnolia Design. I just haven't gotten one yet because it's fairly new. I think it's about $7. So the next time I order chalk paste, because I do want to get all the colors, I will order one of those pads. So still pretty sticky. do a couple more times here. And you can use these several times as long as you get your chalk paste and your inks out of the screen here. These are like screen prints. These are mesh stencils. They're not like those plastic stencils we used to use years ago, which I didn't like. These are so easy to use. And it makes your craft projects look so good. I mean, it looks like you bought them at the store. So I have my dot where my hook is up top, because I want to make sure that I get my stencil on in a good place. And I'm just eyeballing it. I don't like to measure. Looks like maybe I could take it down a little bit. So let me try that. Okay. It's going to be about like that. I think that's pretty good. So like I said again, I'm only going to use this part to here. And then I'm going to use this Brilliant White chalk paste from Magnolia. So this is about the consistency you want. It needs to look about like sour cream. And I might add a little bit of spray water to this one when we're done, just to keep it looking, it's looking a little dried out right there. So I'll probably put a couple squirts of distilled water in it. You do not want to use regular tap water. It's my understanding that it will mold or mildew. So I just have some on my squeegee, which you can get these there too. They're cut apart squeegees. And the whole squeegee is this big, and then I cut a smaller piece off for the smaller ones, the smaller stencils that I use, and then a bigger piece for the bigger stencils. So this is what I have so far, and I just need this one line here. And then as soon as you get finished, you want to go ahead and clean off your stencils. Now to do that, it's best to put it in your kitchen sink and use the sprayer on it and your finger for chalk paste. If you have the inks, you definitely want to get the stencil cleaner. It's a spongy looking thing, and it does a great job of getting the inks off of your stencil. Okay, so this is what we have, and then I'm just going to remove this, the big reveal. Hey Shannon, hi Tracy, how are you guys? So you want to pull it from the center so you don't stretch it out. And so here it is. OMG, I so need a glass of wine. I'm going to put my stencil in the water face down so the paste doesn't dry in my stencil, and then I'll clean it off when I'm finished, and then I'll let it dry with the sticky side up so that it doesn't stick to the surface that I lay it on. Now I'm going to see if I can get this ink mark off of here that I put on so that I knew where to stencil. I was thinking that alcohol would get it off. Oh, yep, sure did. Okay, so I had used a permanent marker to mark where the hanger was so that I would know where to put my stencil. So that came off real nicely. And then I'm going to use my heat gun to dry this. And my heat gun is from, oh my gosh, I always want to say Tractor Supply, but that's not true. It's the other place where you get man tools. Anyway, I took it from my husband. But anyway, this has two settings, a hot and a hotter. I usually use the lower temperature. If y'all can think of the place where I got the heat gun, please put it on there to refresh my memory. My memory is not what it used to be, let me tell you. Okay. Alrighty, so that's dry. And then I have this cord that I had gotten from Hobby Lobby several years ago. I just took 3 strands of it and I braided it. So I'm just going to see how it would look around the edges here. That was my thought on doing this. I need a little bit more Mod Podge on here. So I still had some on my brush, so I'm just going to put that on there like that. Okay. And then figure out if I want to put this on here or not. I think I might put it around the edges here. I think that would be pretty. Instead of here, my original thought was not to tear this, but to cut it to size and then put this around there. But since I tore it, I think I'm going to put my braided cord around the edges. So let me clean off this extra Mod Podge here. And then I have my glue gun heated up. And this is a low temperature glue gun. I always try to use the low temperatures whenever I can because I burn myself and get blisters, and that's no fun. So I think I'm going to start down at the bottom. So I'm just putting glue on the outside edge here. And I'm going to lay my braided rope on top of the glue. This was not my original plan, but I think I'm going to like this. You know, when you get to crafting, you have one thing in your mind, and then when you go to put the piece together, then you have a different plan. So sometimes you just need to go with it. So again, we're just gluing this around the top edge of the plate. And this cord, I think it could be found in the department where the yarn is. It's usually on an end aisle of Hobby Lobby. But I think it's one of the things that they put on sale every other week, because I don't think I ever paid full price for this stuff, and I have several colors. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and I'm almost around to where we started. And I'm just going to cut this end off right here. And then I'm going to continue around until the ends meet. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this off. And then I'm going to tack this down a little bit with some more glue. I'm just touching the tip of my glue gun to the ends of the cording like that. So this is our completed project. So what do you think? If you like it, can you give me a heart or two? Hey Chuck. Is this something that you would make? Relatively cheap project. $2 for the plates, scrapbook paper, the stencil, the chalk paste, and then some cording. Well, I will be back here tomorrow, hopefully at 11:30, with another craft. So until then, keep crafting. Bye.